If you go to jail
usted va a una cárcel,
and immigration finds you, Mr. Vasquez, they will put a detainer on you and you will be stuck in custody until this case is over with. And then you will be shipped off to immigration, where you will sit for another 6 to 9 months waiting for immigration to do whatever they're going to do. I would hope that you recognize it's elementary that you're not to have alcohol in the car while you're driving. And it is a minimum of 5 days in jail to any sentence you get.
que usted reciba.
Florencio Martinez Vasquez Guillermo
Sí,
Guillermo, yes, solo mire el juez.
charged with driving while intoxicated.
Solo mire el juez,
sí,
por favor.
sí, sí.
You are facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine.
De dormir.
We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney appointed if you cannot afford one, sir.
Para usted, si usted no puede pagar por su propio. Solo quédese mirando el juez, por
Sí,
favor.
sí, sí.
On November 17th, 2024, the officer conducted a traffic stop after observing the defendant's motor vehicle run a red light. Upon contact with the defendant, who was the driver and sole occupant of the vehicle, the officer observed the defendant with bloodshot eyes and a moderate odor of an alcoholic beverage. The defendant admitted to drinking and advised that he was coming from a party. Standard field sobriety tests were performed. HGN, 6 out of 6. Walk and turn, 5 out of 8. One leg stand, 2 out of 4. Inventory search of the vehicle reveals one open 12-ounce bottle of Modelo.
Drinking while driving,
Yendo al estar manejando,
DICs were read
advertencias estatutarias
and the defendant
la
consented to
acusada de
prep.
consentimiento prevaliente.
The results being
Los resultados
.122 and .126.
.126.
Mr. Vasquez Guillermo, I'm going to find that there's
Vamos a
probable
hallar que hay causa
cause.
razonable para
Case.
continuar adelante.
Tell
con
me,
su caso.
are you a United States citizen?
Solo mire el juez, por
Are
favor.
you in this country with or without permission?
Eso sin permiso.
No, sin permiso.
No, without permission.
What happens if you go to jail?
Si usted va a una cárcel, acérquese, señor, y no me mire, por
Sí.
favor, solo al juez. ¿Qué pasa si usted va a una cárcel?
No, pues, no sé. No
Well,
sé.
I don't know.
Are you in this country with
¿Está en este
or without permission?
o sin permiso?
O sea, entré con permiso, me quedé.
I entered with permission, but I stayed, I remained.
If you go to jail
Usted va a una cárcel,
and immigration finds you, Mr. Vasquez, they will put a detainer on you and you will be stuck in custody until this case is over with. And then you will be shipped off to immigration, where you will sit for another 6 to 9 months waiting for immigration to do whatever they're going to do. I would hope that you recognize it's elementary that you're not to have alcohol in the car while you're driving. And it is a minimum of 5 days in jail to any sentence you get
que usted reciba,
Sí,
if they allege the open container. I will tell you now that immigration sweeps it every single day. So if you spend more than 6 hours in custody, you'll be stuck like Chuck with an immigration detainer. I am now putting conditions on your bond, and if I find that you violate these conditions, you will go to jail in a moment's notice. And I don't care if you're kicking and screaming.
Sí.
Do you understand?
¿entiende, señor? Sí, señor o no, señor.
sí, entiendo.
You are
Yes, yes.
not allowed
Usted no
to
está
drive. And you will be signing with me today a promise that you're not going to drive. I don't care what your excuse is. If I find that you drive, to jail you will go.
cárcel irá usted.
Likewise, I'm ordering you not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. You will be randomly tested. If you test positive for alcohol or drugs, likewise, you will go into jail.
De igual manera la va a ir a una cárcel.
Ujú. Está bien, está bien.
That's fine, that's fine.
Any priority to BIs?
Yo
No, Your Honor.
ninguno, señor. Solo mire el juez, por favor.
Sí.
Entienda eso.
Sí.
We are going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. So I will have you come up here, swear to us that you're not going to drive. This is an affidavit. I'm going to tell you now, Mr. Vasquez, look at me.
Míreme,
This is the only
es la única
warning you will get from me.
recibir de parte mía.
One violation whatsoever. I'm going to keep you with me.
Voy a mantenerlo usted conmigo.
Do you understand?
¿Entendió eso, señor?
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
Okay, coming up here, swear to us that you're not to drive. We'll get you. You are Aziel Gracia.
Sir.
Mr. Gracia, so,
He's charged with, I've never seen this before, Judge, but he's charged with violating a bond condition.
yeah, I mean, I've certainly seen it.
And,
It's
that's-
either,
It's not a protective order, it's a bond condition.
right, because they can't make the protective order case because it's been more than 61 days,
Had
right?
nothing to do with the protective order, Judge.
So, yeah, right, I get it.
It was a different situation completely. Had nothing to do with family violence.
Get there. So you're charged with violation of a bond condition / protective order. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you, sir. If you cannot afford a lawyer be appointed to represent you. So before we start, was he in a PTI? Is that why this case is 1,000 days old?
Yes, sir. He just has a few BIP classes left to finish the PTI.
Okay. Okay, go for it.
Judge. The officer was dispatched to a business in Harris County, Texas, in response to a disturbance. Upon arrival, the officer observed the defendant grab another male aggressively, and the officer conducted a search on the defendant's person and found a loaded gun in the front pocket. The defendant is currently on bond for an assault family violence and has bond conditions in place prohibiting from possessing a firearm.
Yeah, all right, Mr. Gracia, I'm gonna find that there's probable cause to go forward on the bond conditions. State, what's your position as far as he's in a PTI? He's now picked up a new case. Mr. Gracia, I want you to know that we take these bond conditions extremely serious.
Sir,
You don't, though. This is not your first VPO. This is not your first violation of a bond condition. You don't get it. No means no. Doesn't mean maybe. Doesn't mean I'm going to a high crime area. No means no. And now there are consequences. Stephen.
Judge, can I tell you a little bit about the case?
Sure.
You know, like, just to explain to you what happened. He was at his business. He owns a trucking company. He hired somebody who he said he took a chance on him because has a sketchy record, convicted felon. It didn't work out within a couple of days. So he ended up firing the individual. The individual refused to leave the premises or refused to accept it. So he started threatening him. He went inside. The individual started trying to damage the trucks. So at that point, he was fearful. He went and retrieved a firearm that he knew was hidden in the vehicle. I'm sorry, in there. I understand, Judge. And
It's about the worst thing that you can do. Imagine if you use the firearm. Who gets charged with murder, Mr. Gracia? Who has now dug themselves into a potential 50-year hole? We have a case like that today where a meager argument, someone who's charged with assault is now charged with murder because of a silly ass, stupid ass argument. Now dude is sitting in custody with a $250,000.
And he's been punished at this point, Judge. He's been punished for violating the bond by getting an entire new case on that. So as far as him going into custody for violating the bond condition, I would hope that you would take that into consideration, the fact that he has gotten punished on the bond violation already, and the fact that he's already had to hire a new attorney for two cases at this point, and it's probably going to affect the other case. So I would hope that you would continue supervision on that, just taking that into consideration.
I truly appreciate your position, but you have an assault from 2019 of a family member. The following year, you pick up a violation of a protective order or bond condition. Now you have another assault that they were even, what the hell you're looking over there? Was it Jesus over there? You already have an assault of a family member that was dismissed as it is. You were lucky enough to even have this kind of an agreement where they're willing to dismiss a second assault of a family member. And now you pick up another violation of a bond condition. Eric, he doesn't get it.
I understand, Judge.
You don't get it. And now I have to show you, we mean business. I think that you are utter and complete danger to public safety. And I will do everything in my power to protect my public in every single way. Because the last thing I want is you to pick up a murder case like we have here this morning. Someone else goes with you.
Judge, one more thing. There's a bond condition on there that he's not allowed to return to that address. That address is his business. It's his place of business. The other person has no right to that address. So hasn't worked for the last week and a half because there's a bond condition, I'm assuming from the magistrate, that doesn't allow him to go back to that business.
Show me
So
proof.
I'd like to be
Show
able
me
to take that.
proof. And, you know, the proper, you know, and you need to advise, the proper way to do things is you call the cops.
Get a judge.
Really. I mean, that's, if you own the business, you show it. I mean, how easy would it have been to just call police?
I mean, he has a right to defend his property and.
Not while the case is open. He does, but not in that manner.
It's one of those things where things happen quick and you have to make a decision.